Hey everybody, just wanted to show my homemade vertical log splitter here. I got it working pretty good. I haven't painted it or anything yet, but I wanted to wait till I knew everything was going to work. And like anything homemade, you gotta keep having to change stuff here and there. So I started with just a used Husky. You can still see it there, 22-ton log splitter or something you'd get from, I think they came from Tractor Supply. They're $1,000 or something new. Just looking for a cheap one, this style, the kind that would fold up vertical, because I knew I could just detach the beam from the frame, and basically I built this frame around it, this table. And originally I had the oil tank and the engine from that Husky splitter, which was basically the kind where the oil tank was the axle essentially, and the motor hung off of that. But after I ran it a few times, the oil tank started leaking basically from where the motor mount hung off the oil tank. So I ended up changing that. I just ended up buying a 10-gallon tank off Amazon, an actual hydraulic tank. It's got the gauge on it and the temp monitor there. It only holds, the whole system holds around 8 gallons. I now have a 16-gallon a minute pump, and I haven't seen it get over 100 degrees yet. It's winter time, but it's not like it's real cold. So anywho, I built this frame. It's 2x2 steel tubing. I think it's only 14 gauge. It's not real thick, but it's plenty strong enough. And then I have this 3/8 plate for the workbench. The workbench is 7 feet wide. I wanted it nice and wide just to stage. I'll stage the rounds, and then basically the beam is right in the center. And then also after I split it, I can kind of sort them. The more space, the better, really. I'm glad I wouldn't want it any narrower than that for sure. So I can stack them here, sort them. If I gotta go back and resplit them, then I'll just grab a handful, and then I'll just turn around and I stack them in the tote right here. So no log lift, because I do, for the most part, fairly small stuff. All the wood I get here comes in the back of my truck, so I got to lift it anyways. So no log lift necessary. I could probably add one down the road, but I have, I don't have any equipment, just a splitter, four-wheeler, chainsaw, and a truck. So, and I have this pallet jack, so I can actually roll it. When it's full, I can roll it in the barn here, and I store it in the totes inside. And basically when I'm ready to bundle them, I can just wheel them back out here to the door, and my stand is right here. And I can just bundle them and fill it as needed for the summer. All I sell is bundle wood. I live right down the road from a state park on Lake Ontario. But anyway, back to the splitter. Like I said, I had to change the oil tank out. And then the next issue was the oil pump. Hydraulic pump was starting to leak. So I upgraded to a 16-gallon a minute pump, and then of course the 5.5 horsepower engine that it had on it wouldn't run it. So I ended up buying this Predator 224, which is only 6.6 horsepower, but it runs that pump no problem. I don't even have to run it wide open. It calls for 8 horsepower. The one issue I do have with it is when it's cold, it's very hard to start. It takes just because the oil is so cold, trying to pull it over. But other than that, today it's 60 and it started right at first pull. But if it's 20 and you try to start it, it takes a little bit. I ended up using an old jerry can. I put a fitting in there so I could run that for the fuel tank. And then when I want to refill, I can just shut the gas off, and I can just pull the hose apart there, and I just take that to the gas station. I just have a strap on there to hold it. So what else we got? We just have a ball hitch, regular trailer jack. It makes the four-wheeler squat pretty good. It's all that four-wheeler wants to pull. It probably weighs 1,000 pounds, but I wanted there's a fair amount of tongue weight because I wanted the axle back, because I didn't ever want it to try to tilt back. So, but it's very stable. No jacks or anything necessary. I was originally thinking maybe I'd need outriggers with a couple jacks, like I see on like the Easton Made Axis, they have that. But Without the log lift, you really don't need that. These wheels are off, they're just Chevy pickup wheels I found on Facebook, and then I bought weld-on spindles in that bolt pattern. The only issue is I had to mount them backwards, as you can see, just because the offset on those pickup wheels, but works fine. They tuck under there. Pulls nice. I wanted nice big tires to be able to have it roll around easily. The only other modification I did to the Husky splitter is I just made this. I made a 12-inch wide splitting wedge, so that's just 1-inch steel. I just sharpened it, and that sends right through, no problem. That's really the benefit of the vertical is, especially for doing bundles, is that wide wedge. So you're able to get all the way through the wood. I did make this. I made a stroke limiter. So basically all I did, I welded a nut, and then I have a piece of all thread, and then a tension nut, and then I just have a piece of square tubing that has a nut welded inside it that's threaded, so, and a big washer on the top. So you can adjust that. I think it's from 16 to 20-inch stroke. So, and all that does is it just pushes on when it's returning, the auto return, it just goes up and just pushes that. I welded this extension onto the handle, and that works great. I originally wanted to hook up a foot pedal, but it was going to be kind of complicated with the stroke limiter because it would have to be mounted up here somewhere still to have the stroke limiter work. The easiest way to do it would just be mount the valve underneath, get 2 long hoses, and I could rig up an easy foot pedal, but then you're doing the full 24-inch stroke, which is going to take a little time. At 17 inches, this is about 6.5 second full cycle, so it's plenty fast. I don't really need it any faster than that. It could return maybe a little faster, would help out, but that's all I need for splitting. And that, even with that 6.6 horse engine, it'll go right through knotty stuff, no problem. I think I have stalled it maybe once when I really sent it into a log, and it just stopped it. That is a 2-stage pump. Other than that, that's most of it. I do wish this, I probably could have made slightly higher, this little guard, because I have had stuff roll over that. I have had wood, some nasty stuff go to split, and basically the 2 pieces just go the opposite. So I've never had one get pushed at me. You just want to make sure it's not an angled piece, but yeah, it really works good. I'm splitting bundle wood, so it's real small splits, and I'll do a face cord in probably an hour, maybe 45 minutes, but I'm stacking it too the same time. So yeah, it's plenty fast for what I'm doing with it. I'll try to get a video of it here. I don't have anyone to run the camera. I'll try to set the phone up and try to get a little video of running it through a couple of these rounds.